been chatting. Just got through doing my video about Michael Moore and about Jamal Murray. So we're gonna see what we talking about tonight. See who shows up today. What we gonna be talking about. Coming to you live. Coming to you live. See where we are. I have to watch some Mad Dog Russo. Because he's gonna talk about Jamal Murray. It's a lot to get into. I did some takes already, so we're gonna see what's up. We're gonna see what's up. You know. You know. We'll see what we got going on. You know. See what's happening. See what's going on. What's going on? Just waiting around, see what's up. See what we got going on. See what we got going on. What's up? What's happening? How you doing? What's going on? Holla holla. I just got through doing that video about Jamal Murray. So we're gonna see where it goes tonight though. Glad you in. Let's see if we get Jay Will or somebody talking crazy tonight. Oh, it's been crazy last few times. Call Camelo. How do I feel about that? Let me write that down. You talking about okay, Drew Barrymore, Kamala. Okay, I will. I might have to make that into a video tomorrow. No, I believe you. Kamala. Well, I don't think she's been called a mammy in a while. The mom hug of America. I don't know what that means. That sounds some hippie. What's that? What's that drink? Kabacha? That's on some hippie kabacha tip. I don't know what that mean in English. I call Kamala Harris the wheel of fortune because the wheel of culture. Because wherever you spin the wheel, okay. Because wherever you spin the wheel is what culture is for the day. So if you need her to be Asian, she'll be Asian. If you need her to be Indian, she'll be Indian. If you need her to be white, she'll be white. And if you need her to be black, she'll be black. She's a wheel of except she go bankrupt most of the time because she don't stand for nothing. If they had the wheel of culture, Pat Sajak, and they turn the wheels and the knobs, I don't know what vial she would be. You know, that's almost comical. But yeah, I don't know. I'm stomped on that one. I really am. I really am. That's all she is, and not even a good one at that. I mean, if she was even legit one, she's not even legit one. You know, and I'm not condoning it by no stretch, but she's not even good at what she does. Yeah, but she's not even a good one at that. It's just a joke. It's like she's just doing it. See, the thing is this: you're working for Biden and you're the second most important person in the situation, but it's almost like you may as well be the 122nd most important person. Because Haitian, the Haitian woman that does his PR speak for him, got more charisma than she does. And she's not that most charismatic. Carmela is like his walking, thank you. Oh, yeah, I've dug that one up. I read that thing on X and they was going at it. Oh, I cracked up when he said you were 6 years old. All you'd have been able to do is bring those guys a pitcher of water. And your manhood, I was like, oh, ooh, Eddie roasted him. Eddie went in. I saw that. I was like, oh boy, I had to do that one because it got sent to my files today. And normally, you know, I try not to talk about JJ Red Deck. Ridiculous. More like JJ Ridiculous. I make it a point of not bringing him up too much because he's ridiculous. And it's like, yeah, they did this thing. Yeah, they had this exchange because JJ did that interview with Shaq on the podcast, and Reddick just, and then that's when oh boy went in, and I cracked up. I laughed. No, it wasn't. What game? What you talking about? Well, okay, if you go to the third quarter, but there was another gear, and then they pummeled them. I mean, it was close, but it didn't feel like Dallas could win that game. I don't look at it as a good game because I think OKC is better. I said they're gonna go to Western Conference Finals. Now it might go 6, maybe 7. I don't know, but OKC is the better team. I don't look at it as good because I'm gonna tell you something, which Charles Barkley pointed out, which was true. If they don't get and I'm saying this, you remember we talk about what do I talk about every night on this channel? Cherry pickers. If they don't get a third or fourth wheel in that series against OKC, or what did he say? They in trouble. What did Dwight say? That's funny. I wonder what the white said. The white roasting people. Dang. The white's securing his hood. So what did he say? I'm curious about this. That's truth. Yeah, that's truth. And everybody's calling for LeBron to retire too, pretty much now. That's truth. Because the kid needs a lot of work. And this ain't like back in the day when they drafted you and you could sit there for 4 or 5 years, like Austin Rivers. You'd be more like Caleb George, Kobe George, George Carlson. It ain't like they're gonna give you 15 years to get it together. And Bronny don't look that good. LeBron ain't talking all that crazy talk like he did before. LeBron does need to retire. I said that. Not because I'm hating. It's just stating. It ain't gonna get no better. Well, yeah, he been white ball. Well, he likes some of that. But anyway. But he's white ball. He white ball. They not gonna touch him. He's probably not gonna ever get the 100 greatest play. He might in 25 years, if you care in 25 years. In Hall of Fame. Wait for I'm telling you, he didn't and it's a lot going on with that. It's a lot going on with that. Because I know teams could have used him this year. Don't act like they can't. I seen him over in China. He actually got a 3-point shot now. You can't tell me he can't come back to the NBA today and put some body on somebody. I got a theory about that too. I got a theory about that. I'm starting to think that Kendrick Drake thing is to get some hype from men against Taylor Swift and Beyonce. That's what I'm starting to think. I might do a video about that. I'm thinking it's a male counter, but I'm not buying either of these cats. This beef is hilarious. You can't sell me on a guy who's a Pulitzer Prize winner in Kendrick and a guy who was like a Will Smith in Canada actor. I'm not buying him as some beef. It's still hilarious. Yup. Um, LL Cool J, Cool Mo D back in the 80s, because that was some real word usage. And then in the 90s, Ice Cube and NWA. And then in OO's Nas and Jay-Z. And then 8 years ago, it was Remy Ma and oh God, what was that one? That was a cold beef too. I forgot who Remy Ma ate up. But Remy went in. I forgot now. But those are some of my favorite beats. I got beats for every era. But I'm gonna tell you a story. The beats were better back in the day when cats were fresh. This one is corny because Kendrick been in the industry over 10 plus. Drake's been in over 10 plus. I am not buying two cats this late in their careers. That's just like y'all senior citizens. Ain't nobody should be trying to hear y'all at this stage. And how am I gonna take Kendrick serious when you just got through playing the Super Bowl a year and a half or 2 years ago? Come on now. Of course not, because he'd have got his butt ate up. I wish he would have. I wish. Listen, Eminem crazy. He ain't stupid. He ain't stupid. Nas would have tore that butt up. And Nas is one of the coldest MCs ever. I said Jay Z. I never said him. No, he wouldn't dare beef with him because he get his feelings hurt. Yeah, he would. Because Nas could. So Nas was influenced by Rakim. So if you ever heard of Rakim stuff, and Rakim was like one of the most deepest scientists on the mic I ever heard. Rakim was probably my favorite as just far as straight flavor, you know. So that's my personal opinion on that dude. That dude was a mad scientist. But Nas got over. He got his love. Yeah, he would. If you know anything about that, then you know what I'm saying. Let me write this down. So that was a different era. Different era. But no, Eminem ain't stupid enough to mess with that guy. Nope. 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 But he was smart though. He went after, you know what he went after. So he never he had his audience that he would go after. No, I heard. I heard. But see, Patrick Beverly has always been doing the most. So it's not like he's doing something different. What's he doing different? He took that sucker punch to CP3 because you got amnesia now, Stephen A. Smith. I mean, he's always done some trolling. He's done some stupid stuff, you know. Though he worked hard and got in the NBA, he's done some clownery. Playing for almost every team. I mean, come on now. He's like a mascot after a while. Please. I saw that mess. That's why I think Pat Beverly's a spy too. Because I don't know how he's still in the league, if you want my honest opinion. Yeah, he learned how to shoot some threes, but his defense ain't the way it was. And nobody takes him nowhere. Yeah, he up there talking about it's my job. No, it ain't, Turkey. How's it your job? So okay, so you got a pass for every sport. You a snitch of every sport. That's what it is. Yeah, no one's buying that crap. I've never heard another sportscaster said it was my job. Oh yeah, I sure did. I can't stand him. And every time he talk that talk, I'm gonna walk that walk. So I'm ready to roast him. I remember his game. Sure wouldn't. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You see with JJ, with that 90s thing, I took exception and offense because I'm like, well, who were you better than? Because I named some white players. I said, I'm going to go down the line. I didn't even go into Matt Maloney. I could have named some white players that would have cooked him. I went third tier because I didn't really want to mess with. First of all, he gonna be on the first tier. He ain't gonna be on the second tier. So I had to go find a tier where he would fit. It's too easy. People who watch basketball in the 90s and look at JJ Redick know his behind. He struggled when he came and played. Okay, one for Steph making the three ball valuable. He barely would have made it then. How the heck he gonna talk about an era where they clotheslines you, got physical with you? There's a lot of cats I didn't even think of. Well, which Bulls era three-peat are we talking? That's where I can best answer it for you. They won more games the second time, but I thought Jordan had more juice the first time. Because I do believe if Utah had a center, that could have been a different story. Just like getting through the Pacers in the game 7. His will got him. Rodman, the first one was great against Seattle that year, but those last two were kind of, a lot went in their way against Utah. And then, of course, getting by the Pacers. So I say Shaq and Kobe got him the second time. The first time the Bulls get him. Probably Lakers Sacramento was one of the most memorable ones. Because that was in Sacramento, went overtime. And that had a lot of heaviness to it. Um, the Lakers Pistons ones, and I want to say, um, obviously, obviously, Miami beating San Antonio game 7 was something else. Detroit and San Antonio winning that one. um, yeah. I like game sevens only when they're balanced. I don't like stuff that's not balanced. Let me give you an example. It was not balanced. That Miami Boston last year in the playoffs, that wasn't balanced. That was embarrassing. Not haters. Cats who having opinions about him. If you don't slurp him, you're considered a hater. I like that. Not haters. Listen, I said I said two things can be true. He's one of the greatest players ever. He's also one of the most overrated players ever. I could say that about almost any NBA player. Because there is a level of being overrated as highly rated you are because things went a certain way for you. So he ain't alone in that regard. But he's definitely overstated. He becomes nauseating. Yeah. I don't like being called a hater. He's entitled to his opinion. Don't snitch. I don't care what Ted says on another channel. That's his choice, his preference. I don't feel like he's hating on him. I think he's a Laker fan who has expectations for his team. I think he's getting to the point where he's tired that this guy hogs up the supposedly number one option and the team is being held back, which they did play pretty good when they both sat down a couple of games. He didn't stop for no 7 straight years. Get your lies straight. He was the Boston, Tatum, and Brown didn't start really populating as a 2017, 2018. Didn't LeBron James go to the Lakers in 2018? So how's that 7 straight years? And you can make a strong case for Magic Johnson. You know, in hindsight, I want to say that first finals, it depends on your standards, though. That's not the mark of what I would say. He could have, and you said 4 championships too. Well, he's won 4. But does that necessarily mean that he was always like I could have made the case that Anthony Davis could have gotten in 2020. AD could have easily been there. Okay. You know. So that doesn't make him in the same class as those guys, though. Sorry. Because Russell was a player coach and Jordan had better structure. And they were more team oriented guys. They didn't get to pick and choose what they had. Guys happened to play great. You can't even really compare LeBron to Bill Russell. That's an insult because Bill Russell was a real player coach. Okay. And Jordan utilized a triangle offense where you would think LeBron would thrive in something like that, but I don't know. I don't know. So it always depends on your criteria, you know. But always depends on your criteria. AD could have won that Finals MVP that year because Game 1 he was unstoppable against Miami, and AD was in ready in Game 2 to go off, and then LeBron came along and started scoring. See, LeBron pulled the same stunt this year, except it backfired. AD Game 2 against Denver, they were up by 20, and AD was pushing a 40 burger, maybe 50. And then what happens? I don't want him in Miami. For what? He too old. And, had we gotten him about 2020? Yes. Yeah, I think he left Golden State. That would have been perfect. Him, Jimmy, and Bam would have been gangster. He's an expendable hired hand now. He don't play defense. And he's got to have somebody that's healthy and consistent to play. Now, Bam might benefit from it, but Jimmy Butler's a big elephant in the room, especially if Pat Riley ain't feeling him. And they got a lot of other issues. So it depends on what kind of situation you get. He needs an alpha guard. That's the only way that would work. Somebody that's got to score. Jimmy Butler don't score no points to compliment KD. Bam don't score no points to compliment KD. KD can play, but you got to have another piece in there. Everybody want to come to Miami, but who's going to really be the one that's going to be the alpha? Hired hands to stat pad ain't exactly something I get excited about. But I wouldn't be surprised if they try a major overhaul in Miami. Don't be surprised. Pat Riley put it out there about Tyler Hero. Oh, where you at, Ted? Did you hear what Pat Riley said about Tyler Hero? Yeah, you always think I'm hard on him. Did you hear what Pat Riley said? He was. He was. I give him 4. He said that he's fragile. After he did Jimmy Butler for saying about New York and Boston when they had a chance to replay, he said Tyler Hero's fragile. I watched that Pat Riley press conference. It's hilarious. His press conferences is all the exit interviews. They always classic because Riley goes in. He goes in, and he went in. He called him fragile. I know what that means too. Said your boy's soft. Yeah, he said Jimmy Butler. He said you shut up. You need to hush. He says you didn't play. How can you talk about New York and Boston? You didn't play. So you got no room to talk. He said, are you trolling? That's what he said. They asked him, was Jimmy gonna get the contract extension? He said, we'll talk about it. I was cracking up. He got time. He got another year. He done with him. I already know. B.I. Brandon Ingram? He's Brandon Ingram? Oh yeah, easily. Of course, Riley's top 5 best coaches. Of course. That's a no-brainer. He went with 3 different teams to the finals in a 20-year window. Now, how many coaches can do that? Go from the Lakers, New York, and Miami. Come on now. Resume speaks for itself. If only he stays healthy, but he's a frustrating something. I don't know. I liked him. I thought he was going to be a junior whopper Durant, and I don't know what's happened to him. I even know his cousin too. But he just doesn't stay consistent. I don't know if they look at Jimmy Butler. Butler older now, and I don't know. They just need somebody that can score 10 points. That's all they need. You give me 10, you give me some 10 AT&T, we good. But anyway, yeah, Ted, he went in on him. It cracked me up. I thought about you when he called Tyler fragile. I was cracking up. I don't know about that. I don't care if he comes back or not at this stage. I like him, but it's not much there at this stage. Well, they can get rid of him for a piece of chewing gum at this stage. He wants to go back to Detroit. That's what the buyer said. I'm not really sold on Kevin Love anymore. He don't play that kind of defense, and he really wasn't a factor this year in the postseason. So I don't know. For me, it was Bosch. More versatility. Bosch all the way because Bosch beat you inside out. Kevin Love was great in Minnesota, but Bosch was great in Toronto. Bosch was an all-star, and they were actually a legit team. They wasn't doing much in Minnesota with Kevin Love. Bosch was considered a steal. That's why Bosch is that dude, because it took Chris Bosch before you get to Kevin Love to team up with LeBron. Except Bosch stayed in his third wheel with Miami. Kevin Love slid down the fourth, fifth slot. Sometimes J.R. Smith was better than him. Obviously, he wasn't getting behind Kyrie and Richard Jefferson. There's a lot of stuff that went on there. He became more of a role player with LeBron. I will say this: had he stayed like the Kevin Love he was in Minnesota, he may have had a bigger picture, but it just ain't been the same. Different dude. For me, I could say first, but a caveat: Magic's a better player. See, I can give Curry because he's taking a Showtime approach with scoring and being a guard and what's going on. And he changed the game. And I can make the case he changed the game even more than Magic did because Magic for size and stuff, but it was still ball dominant. Curry's thing, you ain't seen it where a point guard that was such a scorer and could beat you with his handles and his shooting from anywhere on the court changed the landscape that everybody had to play like that. He ushered in a whole different way of playing the position. So he's so unique in that regard. However, saying that, I still got Magic as a better player overall. And if that makes sense, that's what I'm going at. So that's how I stand with it. I can give Curry the best point guard situation because he can handle and all that. But I can give Magic the better player because he beats you more ways. Curry cannot beat you the way Magic could beat you. Now, he was a better scorer. And Curry is only one ring less than Magic. And that's a big deal. And 6 trips. Think about it. So when you look at it from that logistical point, he's accomplished, first time unanimous league MVP. Considered the greatest scorer ever. Shooter. Greatest 3-point shooter ever. Greatest shooter ever. Yeah, whatever. Nobody cares about that. Nobody talk about that. That's some Laker tribute. Yeah, and the mother rings too, around the collar. No one talks about that though. But the thing is that I still got Magic over as a play. Yeah, I had to throw. Yeah, you gonna come here with these numbers to hype Jenny bus up? No one cares about her rings. Nobody care. Only Laker fans would say such things. It's cute, but nobody cares though. I wish I cared. I don't. And get that bubble ring too. Don't forget about not the bubble ring, the in season tournament trophy. Yeah, give her another one. Nobody care. Not seem like red though. I'm taking Hakeem and I'm taking one, two, three, four. I'm taking Hakeem off, and I am going to take. It used to be Kobe, but now I'm gonna take LeBron off. If I got to do that, I got to take them to take LeBron and Hakeem off. And I don't have Hakeem as in my top 10. I think he's one of the 5 greatest centers ever. It's tight with him and Moses, but we'll see what Jokic does. I ain't playing. I have LeBron like 11th. Hey, it'd still be near the top 10. I can't have LeBron over MJ Magic. I got Curry at the bottom end of my top 10. Not better than Duncan, not better than Kareem, not better than Shaq, not better than Bird. And Wilt is like Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds of basketball, so you got to keep him. And Bill Russell's the greatest winner, so come on now. I mean, I could the Braun and Kobe thing, and that's tight. But see, my all-time top 10 is that in no order, no order. I agree with Magic, Jordan, Shaq, Duncan, Bill Wilt, Magic Bird, Curry, Wilt, Bill Russell. um, yeah, Larry Bird would be. Um, you gonna argue against Larry Bird? Do you know how great Larry Bird was? Did you really get to see Larry Bird? Kobe was a very big time player. Scored a lot of points. Was a big time player. Why not? Dr. J would be in my top 3 small forwards ever. If it was ABA Dr. J, that's debatable if he's the greatest ever, because that ABA era was no joke. Answer Ted's question, because it's a baseball related one. It is baseball season, and I wasn't thinking. Oh, God, I want to say. Do I say the Baltimore Orioles of the 70s, or do I say the Cincinnati Reds pitching with Tom Seaver and them, or do I say the Mets of the 69? That's somewhere where I would go. If I'm going to say that, plus a closer, starting 5. And of course, Atlanta, early 90s, all time starting 5 plus closer. Defensive better than Bird. Everything else is debatable. And I can't tell you, no, he wasn't a better pure shooter than Larry Bird. And wasn't a better pure offensive rebounder than Larry Bird, I don't think. Bird had better hustle, and Bird had better position of keeping his players and his teammates in line, how everybody played the game. Body broke down, but you ask most people, they still put him with anybody you want to mention. Why is that? Because he left a lasting impression and he won. He was a 3-time final a league MVP and won 3 chips and did that in his first 9+ years. Now think about that. Is LeBron seeing that the first 9 years of his career? Nope. And a more competitive era too. Way more competitive. Because the East was no joke. You can hold that against Magic in the West. You can't say Bird didn't have to go against some fiery teams. They had to go against the Philadelphia Eagles with Dr. J, which was no easy task with that front court. Upstart Atlanta Hawks, Detroit Pistons. They had real competition in the 80s. Bird did. 3-2 in the finals, went to 5 finals. Now let that sink in. LeBron ain't seeing that, what that dude went through his 12 years. You think about it. LeBron's got 1 more ring and 5 more finals appearances plus 10. Come on now. No, because he went to 1. Tell the truth. He went to 1. He went and found Dwayne Wade. He went and found Chris Bosh. Then they got Ray Allen. Then he went and found Kyrie Irving. No, they didn't have all the talent in the 80s. You got let me enlighten you. The Sixers with Dr. J. Moses Malone is one of the greatest one-year wonder teams to win the chip. You gonna tell me that ain't one with Andrew Toney? Are you kidding me? Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones? Are you kidding me? Did you see Bobby Jones? That white boy had spring in his behind. Did you see him? Oh God. Here's this crap again. Carry bombs. Carry bombs. Now, carry bombs, huh? The Sonics team that won the finals in 1979, nobody is remembered from that team. What about Dirk Nowitzki when they beat the Miami Heat? Y'all crack me up how y'all tag team and play this slurp LeBron mess, and y'all act like ain't nobody. Detroit Pistons 2004. Allen Iverson 2001. Sixers team going to the finals. You want to talk about bums and role play? You want to talk about something? Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Please do. Bring it. Y'all crack me up. Slurping. The Celtics did not have all the talent. I didn't see that, so. No, that's not all I got. Dwight Howard took Orlando to the finals in 2009. Herdu Turkoglu was juicing up, and that was it. What did Dwight Howard have to go to the finals when they lost 5 games to the Lakers? What did they have? Do tell. What did Allen Iverson have in 2001 with the Sixers? The Dikembe was that, but what else did they have? They did not have a great player on that team that was considered a superstar in 2004. Chauncey was not that dude. Sheed was not that dude. And I love Sheed, but Sheed wasn't that dude. Ben Wallace wasn't either. Rashard Lewis was who? Rashard Lewis was who? Rashard Lewis was never a superstar. He was a good player, a good complimentary player who could play, but he was never a superstar. I remember when he was in Seattle. I still remember when Dallas tried to woo him. They weren't no superstars. Dwight didn't have no superstar. Turkoglu was playing out his mind, and come to find out he was juicing up. That's what come to find out. They wondered why Turkoglu was flying all over the court for the Magic. I remember that. Jameer was good, but he wasn't like somebody that he wasn't in the same conversation with D. Will, Rondo, and CP3 as far as the best point guards going in the NBA at that time. They weren't that deep of a team. But they beat the underachieving Cleveland Cavaliers. I didn't say they weren't good as a team. They did not have a superstar. I think that's the point you're missing. And they got Antonio McDyess the next year when they lost to the Spurs in the finals. What part of not having a great player did they have? Brian Anderson, I ain't heard that name in ages. It's not a superstar, though. You up here trying to throw stuff out here about these teams stacked, and I'm telling you, like I'll give you a good example right now. Anthony Edwards is on his way to being a superstar, but the Timberwolves ain't considered a superstar team. Okay. Big difference. Jokic, you can make the case, is the only superstar on his team. That's it. And Giannis with Milwaukee won the chip. As a matter of fact, a lot of these cats are making arguments and making LeBron look pretty bad the last few years, if you want to be honest with it. Because actually, Phoenix was kind of stacked with CP3, Booker. Yeah. So. I'm just keeping it 100 about what I'm saying about these teams. I think in the 90s, it'd have been interesting how he went up against Big Country. He got handles, but then again, okay. Glad you like that one. Because I thought about it. And I'm kind of like, I like him a lot as an artist, but I'm also torn because, but I also understand that I said too, people disinherit their families all the time. Why is he being used? I'm not condoning, however, it ain't the first time I've ever heard it. It cuts both ways. There's a lot going on with that. Um, in the 90s, yes, because Anthony Mason was a big body. They'd have thrown that at him. 2000s, he probably gets away in the 2000s because Yao Ming had a career. And if you're big and you could move and you could score, you kind of got away from it. The traps weren't the same as they were, but because of the fact he could put the ball on the floor, he could score, he could rotate, he could move, he may have had some success in the 2000s. The 90s is a different animal. Different animal. But had he been playing with Adu Raul, he might have been all right. It depends on what the cast was. And you got the Kimbe in the low post, and you got Abdul Rauf, they might have been a problem. Well, I think he would have been okay though. I'm gonna tell you why I think he'd been all right. Because Sabonis would have been all right. And that's who Jokic just kind of like reminds you of Avita Sabonis. So I think he'd have been all right. But it depends on what his teammates are, who his coach is, you know. I don't well let me break that one down for you. With Dwight, he was younger at the time. Dwight put a body. They had to put him and they put um whatchamacallit, JaVale McGee. So they banged him. But they still won 6 games. So I don't know. I don't know how much weight that actually carries. Because they turned into a better team. Embiid doesn't play him in Denver, so that don't really count. And they actually almost cancel each other out. They score a bunch of points. So I can't even give you that one. The one that's happening now is that they're able to what's happening? The reason why the Timberwolves is because they can throw bodies because he's the ball handler. So it's kind of like hot potato. They're not going to really stop him from double double or flirting with triple doubles, but they make him work more because again, and guys aren't making shots. So that's the problem that they run into. And then he has to hurry up and create. And they don't have no knockdown shooters. They actually are limited. They don't have easy buckets. That's the problem. Because actually, he's carrying his weight. Good to see you, Tom. Yeah, Sabonis just skipped over, and I think Portland would have won a ring or two. I tell Ted that all the time. I think Sabonis would have, because Sabonis was a bad dude. I mean, like he came to the league when he's 45. That guy had handles. He still had handles. He still was a better passer than Damon Stoudemire when he came to Portland. He had handles. He could shoot from the top of the key. He took you inside out. He worked you. So, yeah. All right, Tom, good to see you. Who played decent defense on Shaq? Who? Who? Because if you're talking about Sabonis, look up the Rasheed Wallace video that's on his podcast. He dissed him for cheating on Shaq and getting ate up. What are you talking about? I'm for real. I don't know what he talking about. First of all, he was about 48, and Shaq was barbecuing chicken. I don't know what you talking about. Decent. I guess he only got dunked on the head for 30 plus. Okay, that's decent. All right. They're not going to get first class planes. Yeah, yeah. But I told you I blame that on Scottie Pippen. They didn't finish up. They lost. I will say this: had he came over here in the states, his early in his career, he'd have had a couple rings. I've said that about him. I like Sabonis a lot. So you're not talking to somebody who wasn't aware of him. I was a bad dude, but no, he wasn't seeing no. He was too old for Shaq at that time. But he was bad though. If you think his son is nice, the daddy was twice as nice. Let me put it to you like that. I did that video about White. I did a video about while I was talking about the Celtics in Cleveland. White playing like, I mean, shaving his head off. He lost his mind. He got his head back. The guy ain't missing nothing. That's the scary part because they're rotating him in, and then Tatum doesn't have to do as much, or Brown don't do much. So if they get that kind of shooting out of him, that's a good addition. But they're not playing nobody. They're not playing nobody. For real. Once he shaded off, he ain't man. He's shooting crazy. But they not playing nobody. Wake me when they play somebody. Of course, they'll give Cleveland a game or two. I'm sure they will, because that's what they do. They're good for one of them, lap games. Yeah, you know it. I'm waiting for someone to mention White. But see, the way they're in cruise control this year. Tatum is starting to get his Durant on. I hear they're gonna have him take over when they get Eastern Conference Finals or in the finals. They're trying to save him up. I see what they're doing, which is smart. Joe Mazzulla got it playing right. If you don't have to burn him early, they don't get him frustrated. He'll have a couple of games where he stat pads, but they don't have to utilize him to full tilt because they got a strong enough squad now. So now he don't get burnt. He ain't going to no unless he only go there if LeBron's gone. Okay. And why would he go when he's got it made? Why would he go to y'all? If he wins a ring in Boston and start getting MVP, he gonna be like Paul Pierce. He ain't going no Laker land. He ain't going. He would wreck himself if he goes out west anyway. He's better suited for Boston. He should retire a Celtic. They don't, and only if it's him and AD teaming up. Ain't nobody gonna play with LeBron, so just kiss that goodbye. Nobody wants to play with LeBron. Because nobody wants to play with LeBron. It's a kiss of death, I'm telling you. It's gonna be a long time for y'all get somebody good again. You'll see. No. No one said he wasn't. Well, it's coming to make you feel that way, Ted, because they haven't had a resolution. And the bottom line is, what have you got to show for it? You got a bubble ring, in season trophy, and in between one good playoff run, and basically being a playing tournament team with an old, aging superstar, and then the guy that's supposed to be your best player on the team. Sometimes he's street clothes, sometimes he plays, but he's not capable of leading the team. And then you have spare parts that really are the sum of what? D. Russell, Reeves, and those others. Come on now. So what you got? So it looks in disarray. So it's not a good look. So, but it's not it ain't my situation. And Laker fans got to deal with that. Yeah, I did a video. I did a twofer. And he was the greatest player of his time, and Barry Bonds the greatest player from my time. But I got much respect for Mays, though. The Say Hey Kid. For his time, he was athletic for his time. It's always hard to compare eras because um, there's structure, there's style, there's quality. But he was great for his time. No, and I don't take no gang talks. I don't want that mess on here. You know, I have respect for George Mikan. It's hard to say how you can grade for your time. Depends on what rules we're playing under. Depends on what the structure is like. It's a lot of factors. But if you're one of the greatest, you're one of the greatest. Asking me, can a guy play? Depends on what style of ball we're playing. What the structure is like. You know, I would give him the benefit of the doubt and say he probably could, but I don't know what his stats would have been. I can't say. Curry, Magic, Zeke, Oscar. I guess you could make that as your top five. I guess you could. I guess you could. I guess you could. The ironic thing about that is that Magic, Curry, and Oscar would be the guys that you'd have anywhere from your top 3 or 4 greatest players or 5, 10 greatest players ever to 17, 18 range. No, because I think that Embiid needs a real point guard to kind of to push him. See, Maxey can score, so it's not a problem. They need a standstill cherry picker shooter. I don't think there's nothing wrong with Maxey. I think Maxey and Embiid are nice. Brunson needs a guy like I called it earlier. Um, uh, a real good cherry picker. Let's see. Who did I say earlier? Come on, Teddy. We were talking about that earlier. I want to say who did I say earlier? Who would be perfect for him in New York? Um, hmm, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan. That would be perfect. In fact, MB could use him too. Because that's all they need is a third dude. If Embiid and Maxey could get a Donovan Mitchell, they'd be right where they need to be. Brunson, Randall get Donovan, right where they need to be. That's the kind of guy that's the missing link. So if Donovan Mitchell could be cloned, he fit in quite a few places. Not and but it'd have to be with teams that have a guy that's a great offensive force and they just need him to score. That's where he would be effective. Not to carry no team, not to be a third wheel, but be a high second wheel. And that's where I look at him as. Well, Ken Griffey Jr. was a bad boy. One of the most naturally talented players I ever saw. He just a couple things. He didn't take care of his body, and he got older. And then when he got out of Seattle, he was pretty much forgettable. I don't care about all that. That's an overrated statement. Barry Bonds is still the greatest baseball player I ever saw, regardless of what era you want to put him in. You still got to have hand-eye coordination. You still can't explain away the guy was a 5 tool player. Can't explain away the fact that the guy only got like a couple pitches a night to hit. The guy was a mentalist. He knew locations. I have not seen another player who knew what pitchers were pitching at him. Stole bases, Golden Glove winner. So he beat you 5-2. So show me a juice cat that was a 5 tool player. Please do. You ain't gonna find them. Because most of the cats that did the juice were one-trick ponies. They sure didn't have Barry Bonds' skill set. Not even close. But Griffey was a natural great talent. And of left-handed players that I saw the last 30 years, him, Bonds, and Darryl Strawberry were the best three I saw. And all had great strokes. They you know, and Griffith Jr. was something else. So, but I like Barry better though. I got more out of Barry. No, football. Football. Don't forget football, because you ain't had the conversation. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. We talk about football a whole lot. Football. When I was a kid, it was baseball. And then I liked basketball. But then football then took over. But football is the one we get the most hyped about. Come on now. It's football. Much as we hate Goodell and NFL and all that, anybody got a chance to usually come out of there. We have more fun and debates with that. Come on, it's not even close. Being a baseball fan, my season doesn't even start to late August, September. As a Yankee fan, if they making some noise, baseball has got too much politics and too many teams involved. So I can wait that one. Basketball doesn't start till after the All Star break, postseason. But football, you watching the exhibition season, you do all that. Play what? What you gonna play? I think sometimes the ghost of Jim Brown then got into his delusional psyche. Well, first of all, he was dropping passes the last time. Yeah, okay. He dropping all them passes in Seattle. Like I forgot how he looked his last couple of years when he was just playing for any team that would hire him. He takes great care of his body. No puff, no diddy. But he ain't cut to be playing no, ain't no, no, no. And for some people, he was the original AB with the antics and all the craziness. And so, y'all beat us back then, but how y'all history turned out. Y'all won 3 rings, could have won 4 or 5. How'd that turn out? With your meddling owner, ran Jimmy Johnson out, got stuck with Barry Switzer. What happened? You beat us back then. But how it looked the last time we played y'all? Well, just tell your behind up this past year, didn't you? Well, Josh Allen ran more than he passed in that game, 30-6. Oh, maybe you got amnesia. What happened to Michael Parsons in that game? What happened? Came up to Buffalo and got your butt towed up. What happened? What happened? I hope you remember what just happened this year before you popping off. Yeah, you got that, but you ain't got that no more. Yeah, I know you don't remember because you talking about 30 years ago. Y'all ain't seen a Super Bowl in 30 years. Last time the Cowboys saw a Super Bowl, AOL was in a newspaper on Sundays. Okay. Ted got bragging rights because 2 of his teams went to 3 Super Bowls since the last time y'all went to your last one and one. That's a fact. That's a fact. With 2 different quarterbacks. Yeah. Crack me up how people get all funny time. Um, I can talk because he's everybody daddy right now. Because we went to 4 straight Super Bowls. And regardless of the circumstances, we did make 4 trips, and there's nothing to hold your hat about. Sometimes you don't win. And Mahomes is better than anything Dallas has had in the last 30 years, too. So I wouldn't get too high on the hog. Mahomes' 1 year run this past year is more wins than Dak Prescott's got for his whole postseason career. I wouldn't talk too fast. In fact, his last 2 postseasons doubles up Romo and Dak. Wouldn't talk too fast before you call someone your daddy. Wouldn't be too quick. Don't be too quick, cowboy. Let's see. He is the elephant in the room. Been to 3 Super Bowls. I know one thing. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre got more of a resume than Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. I know that. Psh. And Tony Romo will get in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster. That's the way he's gonna get his blazer, and Dak probably will too. Oh Lord, I got to talk about his underrated skill. I think, I don't know. I mean, his underrated skill. Oh God, he wills himself. I guess the only thing I can say about him, he wills himself, but he's not a good leader. See, and I don't really have much good to say about him. Yeah, he's one of the most talented quarterbacks I ever seen. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen, but he's also frustrating. And he's one of those guys that, you know, underachieved. That's a fact. That's a fact. You know. Because I don't really pay him a lot of attention. And he could have been, there could have been more with him, but well, if he didn't like it, then why was he allowing it to happen? I did do my Giselle video too, and I thought it was hilarious. She's a 304. Nope. Patrick Mahomes, Brady Montana, Marino. And I will say Peyton. I laughed about that. And she got nothing to talk about. She out there running around her yoga, man. Whatever. And I'm torn with Peyton and Elway because I flip on that. But give me Mahomes, Brady Montana, them 3. And Marino, I can, but after that, I'm kind of like, whatever. Because to me, I'm only go by the top 3. Top 3 is not even up for discussion with me. Yes. 3-1 in the Super Bowl, 3 in Super Bowl MVPs, multiple league MVPs. What's up, GTS? How you doing? What's up? Gort the Sheriff. I don't even know if I said it right, but welcome to the show. Yeah, already. I told you before, I don't need a 20-year body of work. I was already calling him top 10 when he won his first Super Bowl. Second Super Bowl, I was saying top 5. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Thank you. I saw that too. Um, Appreciate you. I don't know, just me. Um, yeah. Why would I need more work on my homes? Yeah, I'm gonna do that one. I think that's kind of odd, but you know what? These things happen a lot. Sometimes they find others and they appreciate that. I don't know about being a legend. But if you say so, I'll take your word for it. I don't look at myself as legendary. I still think I'm a work in progress, but if you say so, I appreciate your support. Glad to have you on board. Yeah, I'm gonna do that video. It's that's a touchy subject because I remember Shawnee. And sometimes women fall in love with somebody else and they act like they forgot about that life they had, but they forget what they went through. But yeah. That's not really a video that I can do that one here on the live. I mean, I could, but Magic was tougher to guard than Jordan. I told you before. I can give Steph Curry as a greater point guard, but I said Magic was a better player. What part did you not hear me say that with? I can do that as a video, but I've already. Did you not hear what I said? Did you never even ask me why did I say that? I'm saying it for the reason she already was one. You remember Honey Nut Cheerios? Did you forget Kevin Garnett on the court? Honey Nut Cheerios. And Melo was out there in the parking lot looking for KG. Talking about Layla. That's what that was about. You do remember, right? He was trying to get under his skin, and he did. Because that's what some cats do. And KG is a troller. I'll do that video. But I agree with Doc Rivers. I agree. Well, I'm going to do it. I think I will. I will. I wrote it down. I thought Magic was the greater player. Jordan was more athletically talented. But I'm sorry, you got a guy who can multi beat you in different ways. And he showed that. Well, I'm not talking about KG. You remember what I said? I think Ant's better than him already, and that's gonna get a lot of crazy looks too. But come back to me if they win the chip, then see what happens. Especially if he gets Finals MVP and they go ahead and win. Get back to me. Let me know. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, he's already further along in his playoff career than KG was at the same time. KG used to get him out the first round for a while. So I'm saying it. What? I make bold statements on my live stream. So if you have not watched my live streams before, yes, I said it. Just like I said, Mahomes is in my top 3 ever. I make bold statements in this video. I'm not one of those kind of people who need 20 years or 5 years. I can see a dude. The 2 eyeballs don't lie. The eyes don't lie. Oh, and you gonna tell me that playing with Cat and Rudy Gobert was somehow some luxury when these guys were considered Twinkies just a year ago? Ant was a nobody a year ago. Not like that. Then what? What did he do? And everybody's playing alongside of him, and they all got good. KG was supposed to be the goods. He used to talk trash to Tim Duncan all the time. I'm talking about when he got it some seasoning. I'm not talking about when he was a pup. I'm talking when he got in his 20s, he had some seasoning. Yes, I like Ant better. Ant showed me a whole lot. He showed me a whole lot. It's subjective. It's subjective. I mean, you could make the case for Karl Malone if you choose to. He was a better pure scorer than Duncan. KG did good on defense, but he left lacking on offense. But Duncan was that dude that put them all together. Duncan had the best of all those worlds. That's why I got Duncan as the best power forward. He could do all that. And KG and Carl didn't have what he had. You keep saying that. Exposed how? They ain't got nothing to work with. Exposed how? He gets exposed when he's not able to get his double-double, almost triple-double, but he ain't got nothing to work with. What's happening is that team is getting broke down because they don't have no pure scores. Because they got trees. I told you that Gobert can be like a free safety. Gobert, Ben Wallace, Mutombo. Yeah, what does that mean in English though, Jay Will, about Gobert, Wallace, and Mutombo? Doesn't make you like you're gonna be a Hall of Fame player. Doesn't make you're greater than what else. We gotta see what it comes in the next comes to play. Wallace count. Um, I think to answer your question, Jay Will, Rasheed Wallace answered it best. Him and Bonzi Wells said Wamba Wamba. They asked who could be the face of the NBA the next 5 years. They want Wamba. They want Wemby. The powers that be want Wemby. Adam Silver's gonna want him. I don't know if he deserved it, but I know that's what they want. He's from France, just like Gobert. They want him. They want him to blow up. Yeah, I'm just saying what he's. It's politics involved. Yeah, he was. You know, I always think if you're a defensive player of the year, you should be on the championship level, and only Ben Wallace has got that to show for it. Mutombo went to a final. Now it's Gobert's turn to see if he can do it. Dwight Howard eventually won, so we'll see if he can make it count. But it's hard for me to get excited about a guy that's a defensive player of the year. I can understand rookie of the year, but defensive player of the year with a 20-plus win team? No. That don't even add up. They ain't gonna do nothing. Italy. But he came back over to Philadelphia when he was a kid for high school. He probably learned French though, because he spoke multiple languages. His dad played on the Jelly Bean, played over there. And then he came back to Philly and went to high school. And of course, Brandy had him. Brandy, they went to the senior prom together. Yeah, probably did. Of course I did. He was he was one of those guys that shot anything. Kind of like a precursor to Metal Lock Lemon was a bad dude. As a matter of fact, Will Chamberlain called him the greatest. World Be Free was kind of like a precursor to James Harden in a way. He was something else. Yeah, Metal Lock Lemon had incredible handles. Will Chamberlain called him the greatest. That carried a lot of weight. And if you saw Metal Lock Lemon play, he did. He had crazy range. Crazy range. That's when the Globetrotters were must-see TV. Curly Neal was a standard. That's where Steph got a lot of his stuff from. Yeah. Yep. I don't think all of Philly hated Kobe, but he wasn't as beloved. I will say that. Well, they two different types of players. And the thing about it is LeBron ain't got the kind of skill set Meadowlark had. Meadowlark would cook a lot of people. His skill set was crazy. They were incredibly talented, the OGs. For me, OJ, Jim, Walter, Barry, Gale Sayers. That's my top five. Earl would probably be top 10 though, for real. But I got Gale Sayers in my top five. I can flex. I'm not limited. Excuse me. I'm flex. Pardon me. Pardon me. The only one I take out is Earl, and I put Gale Sayers in. And then Ted puts Marshall Falk. And I like Marshall Falk. I'm trying to think he might be in my next bottom 10. I have to think about it. Earl would for sure. Yeah, thank you. No COVID. Just went that way. I'm good. My mask is over there too, but I'm inside. I'm ISO. I'm good. Just letting you know. Nothing through the screen. Um, Earl, Dickerson, Tony Dorsett. Emmett would be in there. And then AP. Yeah. I'll give you that. That's my next 10. Well, he had a lot of haters. And people be messing. If they mess with Emmett Till's grade, what do you think they do with his? It's a shame that people can't let you rest in peace. But somebody would do something racial. Football's a different animal because you can get notoriety for stat padding and winning your yards. They don't care so much about your ranks if you're a running back. The only position that carries weight is quarterback. Quarterback and head coaches get all the glory. Running backs, because OJ was as great as any player you can imagine, and he didn't win no ring, but he held a made strong case. So it's not the same thing. They were good that year. That's a year when Bounty Gate though, when the Saints. Yeah, there's some cheap shots in that game too. They teed off on him. I remember because he's a Packer fan. He didn't want to see him do well, and Ted thinks just like I do. If I gotta lose somebody, he better not be having that kind of the threat of him going to the Super Bowl is like haunting. Yeah. It's gonna be like that too, as long as they stay in the states. It's a cold country, yo. Yeah, nobody talks about that though. Nobody was talking about. That's when he's with the Jets though. No one's talking about that. Just like his whole Mississippi pool thing. See, he's been so covered. He may as well be a politician. No one's talked about his dirty, dirty deeds. Oh, freaky Brett Favre. No one cared though. Good old boy redneck Brett Favre, nobody cared. They don't care. Still do. The whole thing in Mississippi. You know what the Ponzi scheme think of Shannon Sharp went after him? You ain't heard no more about it, have you? Have you? Brett Favre is like almost like bulletproof. So it's the things that we don't talk about. While we love players, we don't love them personally. That's the reality. You know. So yep. And then I add the direction for the production. Paul Mooney complexion for protection. I say the direction for the conception. That's my part. And they don't miss it every chance they get. Or the direction for the compensation. You take your pick. But they let him do what he want to do. That's it. And no one says nothing. And that's where we get into this double-edged talk about how America with 3Ks, how they get down. Because that's what they do. That's all they got. Yeah, they're going to stay on there about Michael Vick. Yeah. They're going to always remind Michael Vick. I told you about that. Remember all that hate? My video going to catch some fire too. Eventually, in time it will. I told you the Michael Vick factor. Left-handed, black in Atlanta, mobile, accurate, dependable. I like the move. I like that move. I watched him in UW, and he was nice. They just went against a better Michigan team, and he had some things fall his way, but he could ball. I know why Atlanta did it. No surprise. People talking crazy like Atlanta. No, they see black quarterbacks that are mobile or premium. You guys to make that move. You can't wait. the Lamar Jackson factor is huge, but the Patrick Mahomes situation is the necessity. The Jordan Love situation makes you have to make that move. You know, that's what's up. Well, that was on his personal side, but he didn't have any real help when he played with the Falcons. He got that big contract, and he got in. He did what the country boys do down south. Roy Jones Jr. used to have those cockfights, and that's common in the South. That's not that unprecedented. What happened is someone did snitch him out. They made that a federal offense. Somebody was getting at him. That's what it was. His brother was talking trash, and there's a lot of stuff. He will. You ain't got to worry about that. He will. He will. I got about a couple more minutes before I'm getting ready to go. It's about near my time. I got about 3 minutes. He will. Don't worry about it. Because Mike Tomlin's too smart to get fall for that okie doke. And we know Russell ain't going to take no job at this stage. Not even if he could, he can't. And it's not even going to be up for discussion. You're going to go with the younger model. They're going to try Russell. He good with quarterbacks, but he's got a situation. This is a no-brainer. You got to go with the kid. Russell's on a low budget rank anyway. First time he throws a pick or two, that's it. And he's not in a good shape right now. This is third team in 4 years. That's not a good look. Stunk 1 year in Denver and was good the next. Got ran up by the coach. So remember, 3 teams in 4 years, not a good look at this stage. So, but anyway. But yeah, Michael Penix will be all right, though. I think he'll be fine. I said what I said on that video. Yep. Ran his mouth. Just like Derrick Rose's brother ran his mouth, just like Dak Prescott's brother ran his mouth, and Michael Parsons' brother ran his mouth, Stephon Diggs' brother. And you got to be careful with the family and your money and your business, because it usually don't work out good. It don't work out good. Too many people in your bag, you have some problems. So he old, but his game is older. They didn't come down. They made an example of him, but again, some places is watching you. He got a little cocky. He a black quarterback with money. They're gonna make an example out of you. But he still got a chance to come back to the NFL. He got to play with Pittsburgh and Philly, and he got him a blazer with Fox Sports. Yeah, and he's got a chance to. He's redeemed himself. He's got a chance to be a broadcaster. But we never got the best of him. Talent-wise, that might have been arguably the best quarterback I ever saw as far as pure talent and rawness. But we'll never know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to close it down. Appreciate you. God willing, be back 24 hours. Peace. Best. Appreciate all the comments, thoughts, even the trolls too. Crack me up. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay warm. We be back before long. All right now. Couldn't have done nothing if he got him older earlier, because he wasn't in the same mindset. Andy Reid wasn't the same coach. That's wishful thinking. He did all right with Donovan. I don't know what he would have done with Michael Vick. It's hard to say. Michael Vick had Dan Reeves. I don't know. But Andy Reid was a better coach later in his career. Obviously, now with Patrick Mahomes, he's a made man. Can't say what would have happened back then. Can't say. But I wish Michael Vick had had a better receiving complement. But if he'd have had a Julio Jones like Matt Bryan did, he never had that. He had Ashley Crumper as tight end. Think about the supporting cast he had. Imagine what he would have had he had a top tier receiver. So we're going to talk more about that another time. All right, I'm out. Peace.